Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion on another video on the topic of palmistry, just because a lot of you have been asking me that Nipun, they are actually liking and appreciating my this re-attempt to establish and keep the palmistry playlist active. So because of that only, I just thought that in this video we can lay foundation to all those people who are just beginning up in the science of palmistry. Because in the last couple of videos where I straight away took the advanced topics from the palmistry, I straight away started talking about case study. But if you do not know much about the mounts, you do not know much about which line in the palm, what does it represent, so it might become a little bit difficult for those people to understand. So guys, in this video we will try to just give foundation, we will try to understand the basics. And just because guys, when it comes down to palmistry, for me it has got more to do with, it actually acts like a mirror to see into the psychological state of a person. And I also see palmistry as very spiritual as well. So I will be explaining all these important pillars of the palmistry from a spiritual lens. So I hope I will be able to do justice to this. So okay guys, to begin with, like the way you know this thing that in Hinduism, Vedas are considered as the most pious and the most purest and transcendental form of the knowledge. Like the way it has been believed that these Vedas were not written like our ancient saints in that state of meditation and purity. They heard it from the divine in itself. So when just for the basic understanding of a common man, when they were further classified, so one of the classification of the Vedas and further subdivision became the Jyotish, which is called as the eyes of the Vedas. Same is the way guys, if you will further subcategorize it, you will reach the Samudrik Shastra. Like the way Samudrik Shastra, if you will do the exact translation, so the knowledge which comes from the depth of the ocean. And one of the branch of that is the science of palmistry, or which in Hindi is called as the Hastrekha. Now guys, if you actually have to understand that how our consciousness or the interplay of the consciousness, it could be understood on three levels. Like one is the conscious, another is subconsciousness, and higher to it is the superconsciousness. So this could be understood in this way that consciousness can be related with our physical body, with our physical senses. The way we hear, we smell, we see, all of that could be attached with the physical body or with the conscious behavior. When we talk about the subconsciousness, so this can be attached with our astral body. Now astral body or the subconsciousness is very, very important, because it is the bridge between the divine and our consciousness, our conscious actions, our rationality, our intelligence. And it's not an exaggeration to say this thing that it's the subconsciousness only which has got the account of the prarabdha. Like the way the battery which is fitted in your, or the hard disk which has been installed in your system, in your body, that is the subconsciousness. And guys, like the way we say this thing that if the consciousness or the physical body is responsible for the things which we do with our hand, with our sight, with our smell and everything. Same is the way when we talk about the astral body or the subconsciousness. So it is also responsible even at a time when you are sleeping. So who is taking control of your heart, of your lungs, of your kidney, of your liver? So all of that can be attached with the astral body or the subconsciousness. And then guys comes the causal body or the super consciousness. Now this is something which is infinite. This can be attached with the divine, and I guess guys that is the only reason. It's like the state of the sleep or the kind of dreams which we see. So it's the subconsciousness only which, through its connection with the supreme, with the super consciousness, it gives us those kind of dreams. All the intuition and all that cleverance is somehow, cleverance and intuition will only come through the higher super consciousness. But who is the processor in between? That is the subconsciousness. And generally guys, all those kind of people who are very consistent with their prayers, with their meditation practices, in a way you're working towards robustness of your astral body. Like the way whatever we do when we go to the gym and all the physical workout, the impact of that comes on our body. But whatever you do in the form of the chanting, in the form of the meditation, you add more strength and robustness to your astral body. So that is what needed to be understood. Now comes the question that now what we will do is that now we will correlate important pillars which are required in the art of the palm reading, in the art of the hand reading. We will connect these three, like consciousness, subconsciousness and super consciousness, with the hand reading. So the physical body, the astral body and the causal body, we will try to connect it with the basic pillars of the science of the palmistry. So okay guys, to begin with, the very first thing is that if you have to connect or see the interplay of the divinity in our personality, in our life, which can be connected with the super consciousness. So in our hand, the puffed region which you see, which are called as the mounts, they are very, very important because they are the embodiment or the representation of the divine in your personality. So that means which all mounts, or what is the category via which we can understand it. So guys, that's very simple. If you have to follow a proper sequence, so like the way it has been mentioned in the Bible, it all began with a word. So the conceptualization, like when a soul is implanted in the womb of a mother based on the karmas of that soul, so all of that can be attached with the mount of the moon in your hand. Now mount of the moon is very important guys, because your imagination, your perception, your receptivity, how much you will travel. See, the thing is, when we talk about how much your consciousness has got that depth and capacity to absorb, to assimilate, all of that is attached with the state of the mount of Luna in our hand. So that is what, and these all are the qualities of the mount of moon in our palm, which is one of the mount and which comes from the parent category of the super consciousness. Now guys, immediate after that, now you will find the mount of the Venus. So just because if there has been a conceptualization of the soul, of a plan, of an idea, so in order to manifest it, you need a physical caricature or a manifested body, right? So that comes from the mount of the Venus. Now guys, mount of the Venus is very important because mount of Venus just tells about love. It tells about the happiness. It tells about the kind of relationship which we will establish in this human incarnation. And again guys, see, the definition of the happiness in the Vedic lores, in the Vedic dictionary is different. Over there we call it as the Sat Chit Anand. Now how can you elaborate or define the Sat Chit Anand? So Sat is the permitted absolute truth. What is Chit? Chit is that intuitive feeling of the heart. And what is Anand? And again, when we talk about Anand, I always say, if someone asks you, what is the light? So the absence of darkness is the light. So no one is like, no one is sad. It's just like that we say, what is happiness? So absence of sadness is the happiness, right? So if you, I already told you, Sat Chit Anand. So Sat is the absolute truth. Chit is the intuitive feeling of the heart, and the Anand is the removal of the selfishness and the judgment and something. That is what the happiness is, Ananda is. So that is what is represented by the Venus, or the mount of Venus, the region of the Venus in our hand. Now you go slightly above it, then you will reach the plane or the region of the planet Mars, and this region is called as the inner mount of the Mars. Because guys, in our hand, in the science of the palmistry, Mars has been allotted almost the middle region of the palm. So there is a negative Mars, there is a positive Mars, there is a plane of the Mars, which we will understand over here. So the very first thing is, immediate after the mount of the Venus, it is the inner mount of the Mars, which is also called as the negative Mars. All the aggression, impulses, your competitive spirit is generally seen from over here. Now guys, the minute you will go slightly above, then you will reach the mount of the Jupiter. Now mount of the Jupiter is very important because your wisdom is generally attached from over here. Luck, divinity, good fortune, how you will be safeguarded in the life's testing times, what kind of counsel, what kind of guidance you will receive in this life, in your life's journey, for whatever you will amass or accumulate, how well you will be guided in that path of yours. That is something which we generally see from the state and the condition of the mount of Jupiter in our hand. Now guys, after that you will reach the mount of Saturn. Now mount of Saturn is very important guys, because this region tells about the wisdom and the discernment. It's just like that guys, whatever wisdom you will get from the planet Jupiter, do you have this capacity to go to the depth of it or not? That generally is seen from the mount of the Saturn, your hardship, and all the hardship which will come in the life, what it will make out of you. That we generally see from over here. And generally guys, all those kind of combination which you will find on this region in the art of the hand reading. So whatever combination and the blessed signs you will find over here, generally they give results in the second half of the life. But if you have prominent yogas in the palmistry getting formed on the mount of the Saturn, it is an assured sign that your old age is going to be filled with contentment, happiness, and like where you are well taken care of. Now guys, comes the mount of the Sun. Now mount of the Apollo or the mount of the Sun is very important, because our charisma, our personal magnetism, like your magnetic range, what you are reverberating, that is what your magnetic range, that is what the cause is, and the effect is the kind of people and the opportunity you will attract in your life. Like the way guys, when we talk about like which all people, for which all people manifestation becomes easy, only for those people in whose case you will find a sync between their body, mind and soul. It's not going to be the case that body wants something else, mind is trying to cope up with some other desires, and like there is no clarity and there is no depth in your soul, there is no intuitive feelings inside of you. So those people never able to manifest anything. I always say this thing, that even if you have to understand it on the basis of the human consciousness and correlating it with the chakras, so all those kind of desires which come from the bottom chakras like Mooladhara chakra, Swadhisthana chakra, they never manifest. Which desires and visualization actually manifest, which comes from the Anahita chakra, from the Vishuddhi chakra, from the Ajna chakra. So that's what I'm trying to say. So yes, the mount of the Sun tells about your personal magnetism, recognition, fame, all of that. Could you be perfectionist or specialist in a line of work? We generally see from the mount of the Sun. Now guys, comes the mount of Mercury. Gautam Buddha, it's like the discriminatory intelligence is something which we see from over here. The gift of the gab we generally see from over here. Your capacity to gain knowledge, how curious you are, how willing you are for the attainment of the knowledge. Do you have that sort of the childlike innocence still alive within you? All of that we see from this region. And guys, you go slightly down, then you will reach the outer mount of the Mars. This is a very important region because this tells about your resilience, this tells about your forbearance, this tells about your capacity to stay firm even if get challenged. So the outer mount of the Mars is more important because the strength of the character generally comes from over here. Inner mount of Mars has got more to do with the aggression, but the strength of character generally comes from over here. And guys, when we talk about the Rahu and Ketu, oh my god, I was watching this very important reel in Instagram. Oh my god, that guy actually, God bless him, did such a good job. The way he explained the fame which comes from Rahu, Ketu and Saturn. So he mentioned in that reel that from Rahu, it's like it gives more. It gives more than what you deserve. And you would not have seen it coming, that much grandiose. When we talk about Ketu, Ketu give you so much fame, but on the first note, the person was not looking for it. The person did not want that, but Ketu gives you like that. And when it comes down to the planet Saturn, the fame only comes through hardship, through excruciating hard work. So see, Rahu, more than expected, Ketu, when you were not expecting it, and Saturn, when you work your bones off, you get that. And again, it's not mine, it has been stolen, copied, and I gave you the reference. Some guy put it on the Instagram. Okay, so we have discussed the so far all other mounts which comes in the parent category of these, oh my god, so many crows, super consciousness. So Rahu, I was talking about Rahu. So guys, in the science of palmistry, Rahu is very important because when we talk about the speculative gains or your capacity to be innovative, like a researcher, scientific bent of mind, all of that we generally see from the Rahu. In a way, your present environment, like the ways some people say this thing that we are not able to outgrow our life. You know, we are born in a small house, in a family, and in my 20-30 years, my life was spent just taking my tiffin box, going to the shop and putting the shutter down in the evening, coming back home, and those 20-30 years, my life was being consumed by the living present environment only. I was not able to outgrow anything, build something new. So the fault might lie in the domain or region of the Rahu. So what keeps you binded in your present? That is the domain of the Rahu in the science of palmistry. In the science of the palmistry, guys, generally what I have seen is that the true prospect of the fame, the signs, they generally comes from the mount of Sun or the mount of Jupiter. Rahu is good for the speculative wins in palmistry, I mean to say, not much for the fame I see coming in from here. I see more information from the mount of the Sun. Okay guys, and now we talk about the mount of Ketu. It is very important because your intuitive intelligence we see from the Ketu, and all those kind of patterns which you have inherited, acquired from the past, we generally see from the mount of the Ketu. So that was the subdivision of the super consciousness. Now when we talk about the subconsciousness, in the category of the subconsciousness comes our heartline, our headline, and our lifeline. So guys, you would have understood so far when I was explaining it to you, all the mounts, they generally give information regarding the causal body. They generally give information regarding the divinity. But when we talk about the kind of prarabdha, the kind of fixed promise with which you are born, those fruits of the destiny which needs to be, there is no escape from that. You are born with a promise that at the age of 25 you will pass a very big exam. At the age of 35 you will have the biggest promotion. At the age of 40 you will have divorce. At the age of 55 you will be admitted to hospital. So those were the promises with which you are born. So all of those information we can attach with the destined promise. So they generally are attached with the astral body. They are stored, those fruits are stored in the astral body. And in the science of palmistry, we generally map them on the heart line, on the headline, and the lifeline. So guys, talking about we will just briefly look at what does these three lines represent. So when we talk about the lifeline, now lifeline, oh my god, this line gives lot of the impression to people, misinterpretation of this line, and especially with my accent. Sometimes I want to say in my readings consultation, DEBT, debt, credit, and people sometimes they hear it death. So same is the way lifeline. People feel that okay, lifeline is like how long will I live? So no, it's not completely correct. When it comes down to the comprehending someone's age and longevity, although it is against the law of the nature, no psychic shall be doing that or predicting about that. See, even the crows are saying that, Nipun, you are right, you shall never predict about that. So and generally guys, we say this thing that even in terms of the laws and rules and regulation of the governments and all, so even till the time we say that a person who is brain dead, person has gone into coma or something, even after that, till the time the heart is beating, that person is still considered as alive. So I mean to say, it's like when it comes down to the age and longevity, don't get confused with the lifeline. Never ever get confused with that. Okay, so what does lifeline tells about? Lifeline generally tells about the quality of the life. Lifeline generally tells about the state of the health, major events in your life. Like the way guys, in the science of like astrology, whenever we have to make any major predictions, we generally give attention to how is the ascendant lord responding to that yoga, that dasha. Like the way guys, when it comes down to even in the astrology, at the time of giving any major prediction, we generally see the state and condition of the ascendant lord or the 11th lord, because their contribution can completely change the scenario or the efficacy of the prediction. Same is the way guys, in the science of palmistry, very soon I will also teach you how to age, time the lines. But whatsoever event you are seeing and whichever area you are looking at, you have to all the time match it, that what is the state and condition of the lifeline at that specific age. It will become very important. So lifeline, to summarize it, lifeline, heartline, headline, which constitutes the astral body or the conscious body. So out of that, the lifeline tells about the quality of your life, it tells about the health, and it tells about the major events of your life. Like the way some people in whose life you will not find any stability, all the time things are going topsy-turvy, one thing is going wrong, another thing is breaking down, and there is no calmness in their life. Like life is all the time filled with chaos and storm and all. So you will definitely find the answer in the lifeline, or in astrological chart, ascendant lord might be afflicted. That is what I'm trying to say. Now guys, comes the second line, which is the headline. Now headline is very important, because what kind of brain governs this person? Your thought process, your comprehension, your concentration, your focus, all of that we generally see from the headline. Like in the oldest books of the palmistry, this line in some of the books of palmistry has also been labeled as the money line as well. So that's what I'm trying to say. So headline becomes very important. All sort of we say how intellectual you are and where your mind is, your thinking pattern, your thought process. Are you very emotional? Are you very straightforward? Are you very impulsive? Are you good with numbers? Or you are very imaginative? You are very creative? All of that, your concentration, your focus, headline is very, very important. And guys, next comes the heartline. So guys, in the older books of the palmistry, like the way I mentioned, even if a person is in coma or brain dead, but till the time heart is beating, that person is still considered as alive, right? As per the rules and regulation of majority of the countries. So that is what I'm trying to say. Heartline, apart from this line, as the name suggests, tells about your emotions, your feelings, spiritual potential, intuition, All of that generally comes from the hotline. Like even in the matters of the courting, are you a domestic family oriented person, or like are you, or could you be trusted in the matters of the commitment, being in a monogamous relationship? Do you have this potential and capacity to visualize things like the way, or are you going to be a person who's just going to be contented with the daily vicissitudes of the life? Okay, I need to grow, I need to pay my bills, I need to build a house, and that's how I will die. Or you want to outgrow that, you want to break that loop or chain in the human birth, in the human consciousness. So the potential and the power of that generally slightly can be connected with the hotline. Obviously hotline is not sufficient enough, there are like other combinations as well, but hotline plays a very integral role. Now guys, after that, so we have discussed the mounts, which represents the super consciousness. We have discussed the three major lines, lifeline, headline, heartline, which represents the subconsciousness, and the last comes the conscious. It's like, I want to be rich, I want to do good in my career, I want to start another branch, I want to be famous. So all the conscious things. So whatever we are doing with in a very mechanical way, like this is what you have, like everyone is doing in the society, community, and you are also in that same rat race. All of that is the conscious. But those people who are able to outgrow that loop, break that pattern, those things generally come from the inspiration comes from the super consciousness, and the mediator act as the subconsciousness. But okay, now focusing on the conscious lines. So in the conscious, guys, comes the three important players: your fate line, your sun line, and your mercury line. So when we talk about the fate line, all the information of your career, your professional undertakings comes from this line. Again guys, see, when we reach the conscious lines, the sun line, fate line, and the mercury line, absence of a line is not an issue. If it is present and it is defective, it is afflicted, that becomes a problem. So if you do not have this line, hardly matters. So I was talking about when we talk about the fate line, so it has been given many names: fate line, career line, destiny line, Saturn line, Shani Rekha. So many lines, like so many names which has been given to it. How to identify it? So any line on your hand which is going towards the middle finger, towards the mount of the Saturn, will be categorized as the fate line or the destiny line. In a hand, you could have as many as 2, 3, 4 fate line as well. But yes, everything about this line, where it is originating, where it is curving, what is the state and quality of this line, are there any branches, are there any offshoot of this line, everything will give information about your career with complete precision. Now guys, after that comes the sun line. So sun line, Apollo line, glamour line, recognition line, perfectionist line. There are like so many ways, so many names. So any line, like generally you will find this line to be on the under the ring finger, on the mount of the sun. So that puffed region. So even same is the case with the sun line as well. Someone can have one line, someone can have two sun line as well, three sun line as well. So that will make you more a multi-talented, multitasker. So yes, and everything about this line gives precise information regarding the prospects of your fame, your recognition, and your personal magnetism, your magnetic range. Like the way guys, it has been said that people like and enlightened saints like Gautam Buddha and Guru Nanak Ji, the Sikh Guru, in their case, even when they used to enter any village from miles away, you can feel that aura. That was the power in their aura. So that is what we say, that the your magnetic range, your personal magnetism, it's like the cause and effect. So cause is what you are, how you are deeply reverberating inside of you, and effect is what you will attract, what you will manifest. So that is the guys sun line. We will have our further discussion on that. It's a ongoing playlist now. And lastly guys comes the Mercury line. Now it is labeled as the Mercury line, business line, communication line, health line as well. So in certain cases, if this line is afflicted, it can also give you vital information regarding the health problems as well. But primarily the concerns of the business, communication, self-expression, all of that is seen from this line. So this line is generally found going towards the little finger on the mount of the Mercury, ending towards it, and same like other lines, it can come from many different directions. Source could be from anywhere, but as long as that line is heading and going towards the little finger, then it will be categorized and called as the Mercury line. So guys, the summary is that in this video we had our discussion on the 3 planes of consciousness and how to connect it with palmistry, with the art of hand reading, and in the following videos we will try to take up all these categories and we will go in detail of it. So once again guys, thanks a lot for watching this video, and for further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyawad.